Hey there everybody, it's PokeLee here. So today we're going to be looking at the box legendaries for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, starting with Scarlet. Here we have the legendary Pokemon Koraidon. It is a fighting dragon Pokemon, and its ability is Orichalcum Pulse. So what this does is it sets harsh sunlight, and it also gives a boost to whatever its highest stat is. So let's go over its stats. You see here it's got 100 HP, 135 attack, 115 defense, 85 special attack, 100 special defense, and 135 speed. So realistically, you're either going to be raising up your attack or raising up your speed. 135 speed is incredibly fast. 135 attack is also incredibly hard. So depending on how you want to play this, you could either outspeed everything that's not Choice Scarf in the game, like even Regieleki, because 135 times 1.5 is like 202.5. So you would be naturally faster than Regieleki here, or you would just have supremely monstrous attack. Looking at the moves here, fighting dragon, it's a known typing. We've had that before, but the moves that you would take advantage of. So considering you set the sun, let's see what you can do to exploit the fact that you set the sun. You have flamethrower, but you only have 85 special attack, so you're probably not going to be using your special attack at all. I think instead what you're probably going to be doing is Flare Blitz here, right? Flare Blitz, I think it's like a 120 attack. It's a very powerful physical attack, and obviously it's boosted by the sun. However, you get a 1/4 recoil, and your HP is, base 100, so think Mew, or Victini. So that's really out of your learned moves. That's what you learn as you level up, not TMs. I don't have access to that right now, but as far as learned moves, that's probably what you're going to have as far as your fire moves. And now stab moves, you get close combat, which you're definitely going to want for your fighting type, and probably Drain Punch. If you're going to be doing Flare Blitz and getting 1/4 of the damage you do back onto you, you're probably going to want to get that back with Drain Punch. And if your attack is over 200 base power, even though Drain Punch is only like 75 attack, that's going to do quite a lot and get your health back quickly. Alternatively, you can have Close Combat. Close Combat would probably destroy anything you're in there with, but it obviously has the downside of lowering your defense and special defense, so you leave yourself exposed to a counterattack. Especially if somebody predicts you and maybe goes ghost type, like they terrestrialize in a ghost type, you throw Close Combat. Of course, your defense and special defense won't get lowered, so maybe that's not a great example. But now let's look at the physical dragon moves it gets. So it gets Breaking Swipe, which is an okay move. I think it lowers their attack or defense, but it's not really powerful. The more powerful move would be Dragon Claw, which I think is only base 85. And the most powerful dragon type physical move you get is Outrage. Outrage is another 120 power attack. The problem is that once you attack, you're locked into that attack. So you click Outrage, and it's like, I think 3 to 5 turns. And at the end, if you get to the end, or for whatever reason they protect, or they switch into a fairy which is immune to dragon type, or they terrestrialize into a dragon type, you get confused with the chance of hitting yourself, and being fighting and dragon, you're 4 times weak to a fairy type. Meaning, if somebody shoots off a fairy attack, you're most likely dead. So, yeah, I mean, as far as learn moves go, it doesn't really learn a whole lot of coverage. This move right here, Collision Course, that's a fighting move. This is, it only has 5 PP, but it's a 100 attack, a 100 power, 100 accuracy, and it does extra damage if it's super effective. But realistically, I don't think this move has a lot of use, because you being a legendary fighting type, I don't think anybody is going to keep something in that's going to be weak to fighting. Plus, considering how you get a natural boost up past 200 attack, if you choose to optimize that, nothing's living any physical attack that this is going to make a difference on. You know what I mean? So this is kind of a pointless move for this Pokemon. I can't even think of anything that would live a powerful fighting move from this thing. That Collision Course would then kill. But otherwise, it has some strengths in having the monstrous attack and monstrous speed when it's boosted with its Orichalum Pulse. It also has significant utility being a Sunsetter, right? There's a lot of Pokemon that can exploit having the sun out. So if you think about, like, first off, obviously the Paradox Pokemon, but not only that, if you think about like Venusaur, which has Chlorophyll, which doubles its speed, and all those Pokemon that have Weather Ball, so they can do basically 100 base power fire moves. Like, for example, Zapdos. Yeah, it has a lot of utility as a Sunsetter. It would be nice to see if this thing had U-turn, because it could set the sun and just move super quickly, and hit really hard and get out of there and switch in whatever's going to be boosted by the sun, and, you know, preserve that many more turns of sunlight. But yeah, so basically this Pokemon, it really reminds me of this Pokemon right here, Kommo-o. Kommo-o is a dragon and fighting type. And it's sort of like Kommo-o, and in fact, if you look at the design, it kind of resembles it. But it's like Kommo-o fused with Groudon, right? And Groudon is another Sunsetter. He brings in harsh sunlight, but he's not a fire type himself. He's ground type. Of course, he has a much better way of exploiting that. He has Heat Crash, which is a physical attack which is based on your weight, and he weighs a whole lot, and it doesn't have any recoil. So yeah, with that, let's move on to the next one here. Boop. Miraidon. So Miraidon, it's an electric dragon, right? Its HP is 100, so it's basically the same as Koraidon, except for the physical and special attack and defenses have been swapped. But I'll go through it one by one. So 100 HP, 85 attack, 100 defense, 135 special attack, 115 special defense, and 135 speed. Now, if you look, and so its move is Hadron Engine. So Hadron Engine, what this is basically it sets electric terrain, and on top of setting electric terrain, you get a boost to your best stat. So if you if you boost your speed, you are an electric Pokemon in electric terrain that's faster and hits harder than Regieleki. But whoops. Yeah, but let's take a look at the moves that it gets, right? So as far as, okay, so for electric moves, very interestingly, I mean, you get charge and parabolic charge. We'll get to those later, but just from a pure offensive, I mean, you get Thunder. I'm surprised. I was looking for Thunderbolt. I guess you don't learn Thunderbolt, but you do have Discharge. Where's that? Discharge. Discharge, it's 80 base power, but it has a 30% chance of paralyzing, which is incredibly useful. You also get Electro Drift. I have to imagine that this is very similar to Collision Course. But if this is a 100 base power special attack, this might be the special attack of choice, right? Instead of doing Thunder, which has a chance of missing, I think this will destroy things. But that would be your electric move. I was looking and it doesn't seem like you have Draco Meter, unfortunately. You don't want to be doing Outrage because you only have 85 base attack. So it looks like your move of choice will be Dragon Pulse, which is not bad because it doesn't have the disadvantage of Draco Meteor, which is it halves your special attack when you use it. And as far as coverage goes, it has Overheat, which it's funny that this one gets Overheat, but it's a fire move that does 120 base power, and it reduces your special attack by half. So basically Draco Meteor for fire. Yeah, just looking at the moves, it has a lot of really interesting stuff here. So Parabolic Charge was the signature move of this guy right here, Heliolisk, right? So what this does is it's basically it's an electric move that leeches life. So similar to Drain Punch, right? The difference is that you are in electric terrain, so this gets boosted by 1.3 times. Now you can do, what's interesting is you could do Charge, right? Charge raises your special defense one stage and it boosts your next electric attack. You could do Charge plus Parabolic Charge. So this move gets like, I'm not sure if it's doubled or 1.5 times, but anyhow, Charge raises your special defense, they hit you, and then bam, hit them with Parabolic Charge in electric terrain, get all your health back and mess them up. And now you're a special defensive wall on top of being very offensive. Also, interestingly, you get Mirror Coat, right? So you've just raised your special defense. They hit you. Let's say they have some ice move or something that you're weak to. Earth Power. Bang, you get it. Oh wait, not Metal Sound. Sorry, Mirror Coat. You hit that Mirror Coat and boom, it goes right back and does double damage to them. Yeah, I think that this is really interesting. And also, it's Hadron Engine. I feel like it's compared to Aurachale Impulse. I feel like Hadron Engine is much more useful because with electric terrain, you have two electric terrain setters, right? You have, you have Tapu Koko, right? That was his signature ability, was the ability to set terrain. And then you have Pincurchin, which, you know, Pincurchin really sucks, honestly. He's just not very good. So this is a very useful ability, and there's a lot of Pokemon that could take advantage of it. First off, there's all of the Scarlet exclusive Paradox Pokemon, but there's also like Raichu with Surge Surfer, it gets double the speed. There's Halucha with the Electric Seeds. It gets Unburdened. You know, any Unburdened Pokemon can have Electric Seeds and then be, you know, twice as fast. Whereas with the setting the sun, I mean, we already even have a legendary that can do that right here. But we also have Torkoal, we have Ninetales, so that there's a lot more competition for setting up the sun. But I just think that this guy's really interesting because he, like I said before, I mean, here, look. This is what he is. He is Zekrom plus Tapu Koko, right? Plus they took his signature move and made him faster than this guy, right? So he could be, I mean, it's the same up here. The fastest Pokemon in the game without a choice scarf, right? Faster than Regieleki in electric terrain. Much higher. Regieleki only has base 100 special attack, and then his ability boosts that up. But 135 special attack in electric terrain. Yeah, I mean, of course, I guess you're going to be competing with terrain. You come out with your Hadron engine and set electric terrain. If you're playing doubles, there's a lot more competition for electric terrain. There's the Misty Surge and Psychic Surge Pokemon that you have to deal with. But there's a lot more weather setters. You come out here with your Orchalian Pulse, or however it's pronounced, and they bring out Pelipper. Well, now your sun is gone immediately, and there's no Pelipper on Earth which is faster than you, and whoever's slower ultimately dictates what the terrain is going to be. They bring out Tyranitar, for example, and it's all sand. Now, of course, they're going to switch immediately out because you're fighting type and you would destroy them. Yeah, I mean, looking at these two and thinking from the perspective of a singles player, I definitely feel like Miraidon here is a lot more viable. I mean, it's I'm never going to be able to play with it because I'm not an Ubers player. It's immediately going up to Ubers, where it's going to be a centralizing figure in Ubers. Meanwhile, Koraidon is basically if you think about Pokemon Sword and Shield, this one would be the Shield Doggo, The Sword Doggo, he got the plus attack, and he was so powerful, he got banned from Ubers into Anything Goes. He was too strong even for playing with other legendary Pokemon. Shield Doggo, he got his defense boost, but he didn't get body press. He didn't get anything that took advantage of his defense boost. Here, Koraidon, he gets the sun up, and outside of Flare Blitz, which hurts your own self, he didn't really get anything himself to benefit from. His typing doesn't benefit from the sun being up. So I feel like this is another example of the weaker of the two legendaries. Although this Pokemon, he will be, competing with Groudon as the legendary or restricted weather setter for the sun. He's definitely a lot better than Shield Doggo was, but comparatively, I keep going there. Comparatively, he's just not as strong as Miraidon. So that's ultimately my thoughts. I had already planned on going with Violet ahead of time. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are, and maybe I missed something. Maybe there's something you wanted to point out. Let me know, and stay tuned. Tomorrow I'm going to be looking at the 3 starter Pokemon and talking about the 3 of them and what their advantages and use cases are. I'm going to be looking at only their final forms, because that's really what matters. I'm going to look at their abilities, move pool, and stats. So go ahead and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe and let me know what you thought. All right, talk to you later.